My first collab YouTube video, of course. Things did not go as planned. So I'm taking you behind the scenes and showing you what happened. Hey y'all, welcome to a very special vlog. If you're new here, my name is Alexis Briana, and today I am going to be filming my very first collab video project with a fellow creator, and I am so excited. And I'm a little bit nervous because I'm not the craftiest type of person, and we're dealing with arts and crafts today. So it's gonna make for an interesting video. You know, I think the end product is going to be fun, and just the process of it is going to be fun, whether or not I'm crafty or not. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. But as I was looking up where we were going to get our crafts, I realized that there was a HomeGoods and a Half Price Books in the same shopping strip. So I said, you know what? I'm also going to make this a bookish fun day, or just like, I don't know, like just a fun day. So I am going to show up a little early. I'm going to go to the HomeGoods and then Half Price Books, and then I'll meet up with the creator and I'll show you a little bit of behind the scenes of us creating it, and you'll see the full video of what we're working on in the project probably in the next few weeks. In the next few weeks. So grab something to drink, grab something to eat. We're going to have a ball. And if I find anything at the Half Price Books, I'll do a book haul at the end of the video. All right, let's have a fun day together. So I'm back in the car, essentially because my perfectionism won out today. It's something I'm working on, but baby, it won the battle today because the project just was not turning out the way that we had envisioned. The supplies were not supplying. So yeah, I am gonna basically still use what we created today, but just in another way, you know, just not in the way that I had intended. So it's not a waste, and we still had a ton of fun. We laughed, we caught up, and yeah, we had a good time. And I think this is a part of the creative process of having creative things that you work on. They don't always turn out the way that you want. Sometimes they're messy, and you figure it out along the way, and that's exactly what we're doing. But I think because we ended earlier than planned, I think I deserve a trip to the bookstore. I didn't find anything at half price earlier, so I think I could go to Books A Million. I think I have time to go to Books A Million. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Books A Million because I haven't been there in a while, and I really enjoyed their selection last time. So let's do some book shopping. Yep, let's do some book shopping. home and I had a ton of fun today. Even though we had to figure things out, be fluid and flexible because just things didn't happen as planned, I still had a fun day collabing and doing some book shopping. And I just think overall it was a fun day. So I hope you've enjoyed coming along in the day with me and just seeing a little bit of the behind the scenes. I got a couple of books from Books A Million and you will be proud. I was very, what's the word? Like cost conscious or just conscious of how much I was spending because I was like, girl, you didn't just got a bunch of books and you really need to just be careful with how many books you get from the store. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do just that and you will be proud. You will be proud by how much I spent and what I got. So before I do that, I do want to go over some books that I got in the mail and opened up once I got home. And it is the Kennedy Ryan Skyland series. So if you haven't watched any of my previous videos, I originally read This Can Be Us. And that was my first Kennedy Ryan read. And I absolutely fell in love with her writing and her storytelling. So then I said, you know what? I'm going to pick up before I let go because I realized after reading it, oh, this is a series. Like there's a whole series. Let me pick up the first book. I didn't really get into it, but I think it was because of the trope and where I was at in life. So I said, I'm going to soft DNF it. So then time passed and Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan came out. And I said, you know what? I just need to complete the series at this point. I got that book, but then when I got it, it didn't match all the other books. So then I said, you know what? I need to re-get the first two books so that it matches because I need my books to match. And I thought it would be easier since the first two books were older to find like sizes that would match the third one. Anyways, it's been a saga. It's been a saga. And what I will say is I've read two books by Kennedy Ryan. I just read Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. I went over my thoughts on that in my July recap, so I won't rehash it, but what I will say is Kennedy Ryan absolutely goes into deeper topics into her romances. So I would say definitely proceed with caution, read the trigger warnings, just be safe with your heart and what you know you're able to handle with what is on the page. She goes into family drama. She also has gone into DV and just identity and self-love. She doesn't just do fluffy romances. That's just not based off the two books that I have read. And the little bit of the first book she does not go over, fluffy topics. So just proceed with caution. She has amazing poetic writing. Like even though Long Shot was not necessarily my favorite book or a book I would say was for me, I finished it because the writing was just so good. And I was like, I need to finish the story. I need to know how this story ends. Like I got to know how the story ends. So absolutely excited that I was able to finally pick up the first two books so I could have a matching set and really excited to get this on the shelf. I love supporting Black authors and authors that just in general have really good writing. So really excited about this. All right, so let's go over the books that we got from Books A Million. Okay, so the first book that I got, so this is actually funny because I didn't realize until after I was sold on the book that this is actually the second book in this series. I don't know if it's going to be like a duology, a trilogy or what, but it's the second book. And I saw this book in the clearance section, or they call it the bargain section. And I love the cover. I was like, I don't even care what it's about. I love this cover. I love the representation. And by it, I was like, oh, this looks like it's fantasy. So I'm already sold again. On top of that, it is also a YA, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's a YA. I think it's a YA. Pretty sure it's a Y. But anyways, I don't want to read too much about it because it's the sequel, but just based off of what it says on the back about the first book, which is Skin of the Sea. Oh, did I even say what it is? I don't even think I said what the book is called. It is Soul of the Deep by Natasha Bowen. Soul of the Deep by Natasha Bowen. I just went straight in. I didn't even Anyways, so back to the first book. So the first book is Skin of the Sea, and Skin of the Sea, and the endorsements on the back of this book says that the first book was an instant New York Times bestseller, an NPR Best Book of the Year, a Publisher's Weekly Best Book of the Year, and I'm like, yes. I'm going to go and get the first book, but I'm really excited to add this to the shelf and eventually read it. I just absolutely love the representation on this book. So, I believe, yes. Okay, sorry. I was just trying to see if there was anything that I could potentially share that wouldn't spoil it for either of us, but I think I'm just going to get the first book and maybe go over that before reading too much into this, but absolutely excited to add this to the shelf. All right, next up we have, oh, this is actually also another YA. And again, it was another one that I said, I'm pretty much already sold because of the cover of this book. Like, this is absolutely beautiful. It is The Chosen One by Echo Brown. And it says it's a first generation Ivy League. I can't see what it says under that, but it's basically, yeah, a YA about a college student. She's, I think, a first generation college student. Yes, it says on the back, it says the Ivy League made promises it couldn't keep. Echo Brown testifies to the disappointments and triumphs of a Black first generation college student in this fearless exploration of the first year experience. So I just, again, this cover is beautiful. And I believe that this author, Echo Brown, also went to an Ivy League. Yeah, she did. And I love when authors take their lived experiences and write stories about them. Like, whether this is exactly her story or not, it's based off of the experiences that she experienced as a freshman at Ivy League. So absolutely love this. Again, representation. And this is a YA. I think this is technically would be a YA since it's college. Yeah. Like, yeah. Or new adult. Maybe this is more new adult. I don't know. Either way, I'm really excited to add this to the shelf. All right. Last up we have, oh yes. So I'm currently in the middle of the, well, not in the middle of, but I'm reading. I don't think I'm 50% the way through, but I'm reading a book by Monroe. It's my first book by her. And I saw this on the shelf and I am a sucker for a good cover. And it was on sale. Okay, not to deviate, but did you notice something? This goes back to being proud of me. All of these were on sale. They were all on sale. They were all on sale. I did good. So I think even they were on sale of the sale because the first two books were $5 and this one says it was $8, but they were less than that. They were actually less than that. Focus, Alexis, focus. Okay, I saw this book on the shelf and absolutely loved the cover. I decided, you know what, let me look up what this book is to see if it's a part of a series or a standalone. Either way I'm getting it, really doesn't matter because it's beautiful. And funny enough, it's actually the follow-up to Mrs. Wiggins, which is a historical fiction. It's based in the Deep South. It's in the Depression era, of the U.S. Depression era. So I'm just really excited to add this to the shelf. And once I finish Mrs. Wiggins, I'm going to pick this up. Again, I love supporting Black authors and this cover is absolutely beautiful. All right, so that was my last pickup from Books A Million. And I have had so much fun bringing you along in my bookish day. And I hope you've enjoyed it as well. If you've made it to this point in the video, welcome to the end of the video, crew. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and just being flexible. We were flexible and fluid today. So thank you for that. And be sure to drop a camera emoji in the comment section. I always love to know who has hung out with me for the entire video. And I just want to celebrate the recording of the first collab video, even though it didn't go as planned. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit subscribe, like, and hit that bell notification so you don't miss a new video from me. Until the next time, happy reading. Bye, y'all.